All right, everybody. Steve Baskis here. Welcome to the Baskis 360 show, or B360. Going to talk with Nick Morris today.
Nick Morris.
My co-host. We're going to talk a little bit about veteran healthcare, the veteran healthcare system, a little bit about physical and mental health of veterans and suicide prevention or suicidal tendencies and things like that. So just tune in. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Check out the webpage, baskis360.com. And look us up on social media. So, hey, Nick, man, how are you doing today?
Doing good. On your website, do you sell clothing?
Not yet, man.
You should do like shirts and funny like.
Should be some funny shit. On
Yeah,
the
dude, like just like fun, fun stuff, making fun of
like,
everyone.
Having
fun.
You know what I was thinking, Nick? For the show, I've been trying to figure out where. What I want what I have written up for the show right now is it's B360. The whole fucking play on words is B 360 degrees aware, which is just just talk to people, become aware of things, learn about stuff, know stuff. But I think I have something like strength, resilience, and courage. Talk about people's strengths, the resilience, the courage, shit like that.
You need to come up with your own phrase.
Yeah. Your
own catchphrase,
Yeah, catchphrase.
They see it. Not catchphrase. That was dumb. Like your own.
No. Yeah, something.
Something that when people see it, they know.
Yeah. I could get a logo made or something with
like
the B360 stuff. I haven't cared because the B360 shit was just something I wanted to create, and then I knew that I could change it. We could change the name to whatever we want.
No, keep it.
But I'm more. It's the format, man. It's like, what do you and I just want to talk to veterans? Should I
No, dude.
Or should just keep it open?
Yeah,
talk
open,
to anybody.
360
degrees.
Yeah, 360, man. Like, you can't be that exclusive. I know we're like, kind of like a. Kind of exclusive fraternity, being that there's not that too many wounded veterans alive, these days. So it's not like World War II or Vietnam when hundreds of thousands and, millions and millions of people served compared to now, because of the draft.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But honestly, I like hearing other people's opinions. I like it. That I think I don't know if it's the military or just the Army are going to allow female snipers. And I had like a chat on Facebook with a cordial chat, like blah blah blah. I was what about when the women are menstruating and can the tracker dog smell it a mile away?
Yeah,
and probably, but at the same time there are thinking. I was actually answering my own question, thinking out loud, but there are birth control methods that prevent women from even having a period for long periods of time. So
yeah.
They could do that. I'm sure there's some sort of masking agent I don't know about, but I'm sure there are that prevent that masks everything, or at least
well, it's always a problem for even just it's interesting stuff.
But I know a lot of women who they probably are better shots, because they have better trigger squeeze. They didn't learn bad habits as a child like a lot of guys did.
Yeah,
because let's be real, we weren't taught by professionals unless you were, then you're listening to this and saying you speak for yourself. I am speaking for myself, like trigger squeeze, breathing techniques. These women, a lot of women are just better because at those things, so they can become a better shot.
They listen.
Yeah,
I think they listen.
Listen better.
They listen to someone.
Oh, that's true. Damn, that's true.
I think females tend to listen a bit harder.
Probably study better too.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. And
absolutely.
There's a mix between both the sexes. But today's show.
So that was off topic.
No, you're fine, bro. I wanted to. We're just getting warmed up, man.
Juicy.
It's cool, today's topic is talking about veterans, and I think I was going to ask you and why I was making the statement, maybe we'd just talk to veterans because you and I relate with veterans, and maybe we just talk to veterans about, the stuff that we're going to talk about today, how did you deal with shit? Why'd you serve? It could be just specifically about veterans and stuff. But the thing is that could be the meat of things, because I love talking to vets, but
I love it.
we can always venture off and do
Most
whatever the hell
of the
we
time.
want.
Yeah.
It's my show. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
But
I just like talking to people here
Yeah.
about their experiences. The older, the better.
but I really want to do some Zoom stuff, because I have doctors from the VA that I could bring on, and if you had questions,
And I mean, honestly though, like for doctors, I don't have many questions. I don't, dude. Because I mean, I'm not going to question a lot of their stuff. I don't know enough, So,
well, I mean,
so like, what am I going to?
I'll ask him questions, and you might think of something that might be interesting.
I
to you.
I might ask some questions off of what he says, but like off the top of my head,
I'll give you an example. I had a guy, because I lost my eyesight, who was a doctor that studied blast injuries to the eye, So I had lots of questions for him, because I wanted to know, like, well, what can they do for people that might, have these kinds of injuries, or how can we, prevent these kinds of injuries?
I might have a few questions, but like, I'm not going to like. I'm not going to.
Well, it doesn't have to be a doctor.
I'm not going to be like, oh, what you're saying is wrong. No, dude.
No, we're not. I'm not talking about that. I mean,
I'm like, dude, who
not questioning them, in a controversial way.
The only time I'm going to do that is political scientist or something. If I disagree, and if there's whether I agree or not, if they have good valid points, I'm not going to do that. True. Okay, I see where you're coming from. I may not agree with it, but
sometimes doctors need to be challenged.
Oh well, I mean,
but
if they have political things they want to talk about, I'll challenge them all day long.
Yeah, if it becomes a political thing,
I know, right?
Which a lot of things have,
which is ridiculous.
But today, we're going to talk about, like I said, the Veterans Administration healthcare system a little bit. Our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So see, this is for our listeners out there. Nick Morris and myself, Steve Baskis. We were both service members, served in the U.S. Army, and were wounded in theater. And so, he's an amputee. Nick is an amputee. I'm completely blind. We have other injuries, I'm sure. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna ask you questions. I'll also man. Tell my, tell my side of things. But I think what else to start it off, I just want to go for our listeners. I just want to kind of go in order. Like I'm looking at it like chronologically in sequence. Like, okay, before serving, how did you feel? What was that like? Then why did you want to serve? Then what, were you thinking about injuries or being injured, blah, 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 this kind of stuff, all the way through, like, being wounded to what you were thinking then, what was the care that you received, what care you did not receive, what do you think should change, that kind of stuff, all the way through. And then, third party stuff, like what kind of organizations have assisted. Do you believe in doing third party stuff, like with nonprofits, or does the government need to bring in more physical therapy, like stuff like athletics and recreation therapy, or other medicinal kinds of things, natural stuff, that kind of stuff. We'll talk about all that kind of crap. But I guess the first question is, like, when you were joining the military, what was your state of mind and your health? Were you physically fit?
Oh, dude.
Were you? Yeah.
Well, I went a different route. Like, I went the officer route. So
sure.
And I was going to enlist after high school, but my mom talked me into going to a early commissioning program, which it was just a 2-year school to get your commission, and then you have to finish up at a 4-year school to get your degree.
So you were mentally locked in tight because you had to go to school.
Well, I went to an all boys military school for 2 years and got my ROTC military early commission.
Was that in Virginia?
No, I was in Wayne, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philly.
Okay.
And at the time it was all boys. I think they integrated with women now. I'm not sure, but so I went there to become a second lieutenant, and then I finished up at University of South Carolina getting my
it was
degree.
ROTC basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah.
But it was a military.
It was a 2-year commission for ROTC. So
ROTC.
ROTC, yep.
For those people who don't know.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. I made my decision after 9/11 that I was going to go in.
Was it Reserve Officer Training Corps, ROTC?
Yep, Reserve Officer Training Course. just to be an officer. It's either you go in that program at a university, or you go to the academies and become, or they have a green to gold, which is you can go prior enlisted and then go through OCS, Officer Candidate School, and become so. They all have their own benefits.
Yeah,
so,
and gain your commission.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and we had guys in my unit that a lot of guys are respected if they're prior.
Oh yeah,
enlisted, right?
They're the most respected.
We had a first lieutenant that was a ranger.
Yeah.
That was prior enlisted, and then he became an officer. So,
yeah.
So
so he's not only is he older and more mature, he has that combat experience, and he already has that leadership from the Ranger Battalion that you can't be taught. You know what I mean? It's earned. Yeah. So when you bring that to another, like my little brother, my youngest brother, I'm one of five, so my youngest brother, he's in the Ranger Bat in Benning. I think it's the third. Is it third? In Benning, whatever. The one in Benning.
Third Infantry Division.
Yeah, the third Ranger Bat. And
the third Ranger Battalion. Yes, yes, it is. I'm pretty sure.
And right now he's in Indiana or something doing he's going to be a dog handler, which is cool because he just got his E5, and crazy that he was actually at university. He was at Virginia Tech. When I got hurt,
sure,
and he was in the ROTC there, or it's actually the Corps Cadet, so it's not the ROTC. It's different. It's different, but the same. You know what I mean? It's like the Texas A&M deal. Like they have a Corps Cadets. Like you live, like they're separate from the college and they wear uniforms every day. Yeah. Kind of like it's but it's an ROTC program.
It's prepping you. It's getting commission.
Yeah. So, but it's a good pro. It's one of the best in the country. Let's be real. And he was there, and when I got hurt, he dropped out of school and enlisted in the Ranger Battalion, and he's been tearing shit up since. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's like the definition of badass. You don't run from it; you run towards it. Like not many people do that. Usually, when someone they know, let alone their brother, gets hurt, they're like, "Hell no, I'm not going to serve."
Yeah, my brother joined too after I.
Isn't that crazy, dude? Like this, it's just.
It's just
And I told him to finish up and graduate.
Go kick some ass because
that's what he wanted. Yep, get some.
Your brother gets screwed.
Dude, my brother's gotten some. Remember that the mother of all bombs that Trump administration dropped on Afghanistan, and then we sent the Ranger Bat in there, and we lost a couple guys.
I don't know. There's huge bombs
back in
2,000
I don't remember. But anyway, he was a part of that operation. And he I don't want to be wrong. I think he lost his team leader or his squad. I don't want. It's not my story to tell, so but he was a part of that. We should definitely bring my brother on.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, he's
through Zoom. We can do
it. He's
a beast.
Let's sometime when he comes here, we should have.
If he comes out this way.
Yeah, he'll come out this way.
It's always better. The sound quality is better if the person's here in the room.
Better in general, because
the vibe
you can engage, engage and ask better questions and blah blah blah.
Sometimes people just can't make it into the studio.
Oh yeah, and my brother's busy because he's dog handling training. I wish I had him here now to help me train my damn pity puppy.
Yeah, but
even though it's a big baby, I don't know how they have a bad rap. This thing wouldn't harm a fly.
That's just they're aggressive dogs.
They're not though.
They scare people.
They're
aggressively looking. I'm not saying that they're aggressive all the time.
He'll aggressively snuggle with you.
Most dogs are scared of any dog that most people are scared of any dog that's barking at them.
The most aggressive dog I've ever encountered. Obviously you have a Doberman Pinscher because they're just mean. I don't know, but a Shar-Pei. I've been bitten by a Shar-Pei.
Little dogs like to bite.
Like, dude, Shar-Peis. I mean, they're like a Japanese fighting dog. Like, there ain't no joke, dude. Like, you look at it, you're like, oh, whatever, what a joke, because they're covered in rolls. Like, they're covered in rolls, and they're because they're fighting dogs. But like, when that thing goes, you grab it to punish it. That thing bites you. Like, it spins around. You can't. And you just eventually just like run because it's vicious, dude. Like it launches itself at you. It cares nothing about your size. Like I have mad respect, but like seriously, I had one growing up and we had to put it down because it bit someone, because it was a female too. She was a beast, dude.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mess with it. The thing was a beast, dude.
Yeah, I mean some dogs are crazy,
dude. Just
going back to what we were talking about, the
protection dog.
The military, I guess sometimes I wonder how people grow up because, you hear about post-traumatic stress and these problems. and it's compounded by people's history, their how they grow up. And I'm asking you questions about, your mental health, your physical health, because, I think this is going to answer a lot of questions, or at least give some sort of insight to how people deal with problems. Like if you lose your leg, right? Because some people, I'm sure some people you served with, like you could probably think in your mind, man, if he would have been the one that got wounded, he wouldn't do so well.
He would have killed himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean,
right?
You don't really even have the statistics. Pretty much you know what I mean? Like there are people who commit suicide anyway.
Oh yeah,
without an injury.
Absolutely.
So I don't even know what the percentage of wounded vets who commit suicide are.
But you had a strong mind. Physically fit. You're going to school.
Athlete.
You're trying. Yeah, you're an athlete.
It prepared you. You know what I mean? Being an athlete.
You think you had a lot of good experiences growing up as a kid?
Dude, hell yeah, man! I played 4 sports in high school.
That kind of what I'm trying to get at is that made you resilient. Yeah, it made you. I'm gonna keep going no matter what.
Yeah,
nothing's
that's
gonna
just
keep
an
me.
obstacle, man.
Were you thinking that when you joined the military?
No, dude, I didn't think I was gonna get
Were
hurt.
you so? Take yourself back to.
I didn't think I was gonna get hurt. I didn't know many people prior to who got hurt.
Well, I mean,
serving.
Not even
because statistically, it's in our favor to not get hurt.
But not war even. I'm talking about your mind, your thought process when you were going to basic training. Your first advanced. All that stuff, the training.
Yeah.
What were you nervous?
No, not
What
really.
were you hoping to do? Kick some ass, be the best? What were you driven? Or were you just kind of cautious?
Obviously,
were you in between?
Physically, I was driven, you know what I mean? I just wanted to be better than everyone physically.
Sure.
And then, just learn more.
Where was your training at?
Where did we do it? They sent for what did they send us?
Your initial, were you OSIT? Were you one station?
It was the ROTC shit. Oh, you talking about after?
I'm talking about
Benning.
Benning. You were Benning. Okay.
Yeah. So infantry.
You were 11 bang too, right? Just like me.
Yeah.
So the
Benning.
11 Bravos.
Yep.
Yeah, the tanker school's there now.
Run. A lot of running.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I had been researching for a long time the pipeline to become, to work in the unconventional, part of the U.S. military, especially the Army. But before that, I actually enlisted as a Navy delayed entry, program. I was part of that right after I left high school. I dropped out of high school, got my GED, and that made it really difficult for me to join the Marine Corps. I was
you wanted to be a Marine?
Bunch of my buddies, three of my buddies joined the Marine Corps, and they all went like with the battle buddy program,
Yeah.
And I was going to go too, but the recruiters, they wouldn't take me. They said that it was tier 2, tier 3, my education, the GED. Actually, I didn't even have a GED at the time, but I worked hard to get the GED, and they wouldn't accept it. So I went on forever. They went on, my buddies went on, and they joined the Marine Corps, and it took me a few more years, but I was trying to go into the Navy, and I was interested in a SEAL source rate, which was a specific occupation that you had to have so that you could volunteer for the Navy SEALs. And I was hoping to be a corpsman, and HM, a hospital corpsman, which is they're the medics that are assigned to Marines. So it was my ticket to serve with the Marines, but be in the Navy. And at the same time, in my mind, I was hoping to pursue the pipeline to become a SEAL, because I wanted to work in the unconventional, warfare, community. Yeah. And that's Spec Ops, special operations, I felt like my thoughts, Nick, were if you want to serve with combat at arms soldiers or Marines or Navy personnel, whatever branch, the guys that are usually on the front lines, you want to be with people who have a big budget for education, for weapons, for their operations, that have all the people that are there. They're there for a reason. And they weed them out, and they pick the best. So that was my goal. Whether I was going to make it or not, I don't know. But the Navy kind of defaulted on some things. So I went back to my dad's work for about a year.
What was that? What was your dad?
It was in Kentucky. I was working for a research and development company.
Okay, and he owns it?
Yeah, he runs, he's a research scientist. And so I was working at a water treatment facility.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was helping with the computers and electronics.
Okay, yeah.
And so I was, if I went to school, I would have probably went for mechanical or electrical engineering or something, computer programming. But anyway, a year later.
My least favorite course in college. Dude. I hated it, man. I took it at Fort Jackson in Columbia.
Sure.
For a guy who went to the University of South Carolina.
Yeah.
And thinking it would be easier on base.
Yeah. No.
Dude, it sucked. It's just hard.
What was it specifically?
Computer science.
Computer science.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hated
Well,
it.
yeah. I mean, computer.
I don't like computers, man.
I've loved computers since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I also like fucking just pounding dirt, like fucking carrying heavy equipment, shooting guns. See, I'm like weird. I'm on both sides of the spectrum. I can be geeky motherfucker. I can be, on a mountain, man, sucking air.
Just pushing your body, dude.
Yeah.
That feeling you get when after you exerted everything at the end of the day, you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's what I like. You know what I mean?
Well, see, I was just always into martial arts, and martial arts ingrained into me the fighting, the idea of fighting. And I was fascinated, again, in the military, fascinated with the idea of hunting humans. Like, well, these evil people, or what we have designated as evil people, the enemy, that we need to hunt them down. And so how do you deal with people on the battlefield? What is the enemy's strategy? I was very into that kind of shit. And so, I lived in New York when the towers fell, and that really affected me because people I knew in my community, lost family members in the towers. But the whole country, the whole world was affected, of course. I'm sure you remember where you were.
Yeah, that's one of the, you can remember certain moments in your life, like where you were. Yeah. That's one of them.
Yeah.
I can remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy.
But I joined the Army, man. And I was trying to do the same thing. Same kind of pipeline but I thought I had a strong mind too. And I was really gung ho. I mean, I was sold platoon, I was soldier of the cycle for my platoon in basic training, and I was meritoriously promoted in basic. And I was just trying to fucking do as best as I can, and I got put in my unit was I was hoping to go to a light unit. There's not really too many of those, right? 10th Mountain, 25th ID, Hawaii. I mean, I don't know how many really are, and of course your spec op units and stuff. But anyway, man, both of us, it sounds like, had a really good like history of family, maybe growing up, sports in our lives, studying and trying to go to school. You did better than me. I dropped out, but it's of my choosing. It was my choosing.
High school was fun because I played a lot of sports, and I didn't care as much about the academics portion.
Sure.
But college, I mean, once I started,
applying
myself more academically, I mean,
you rocketed through.
It was fun.
It's good, man. And your political science, man.
Yeah, to see the transition, from putting effort into your schoolwork and seeing it translated in better grades, and it's cool. It's cool.
It is cool.
It's cool. Learning is cool. It's fun.
There's something too about like an established system and like checking the boxes and gaining like, moving up, in the system. And it's just like gaining rank in the military.
Yeah. Well, I mean, growing up, my community was, academics is always, expressed highly and looked, looked at it as like a necessity.
Yeah.
To like you said, rise up.
Well, we're told since we're a kid.
Yeah. I mean, and now I know that's not necessarily true because you can go do trade schools and be just as successful financially and taking what you'd make and investing it in like properties and stuff. I've seen truckers who retire and invest in the properties and become multimillionaires.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that's what not college is not for everyone. Like for me, it was a necessity because I wanted to go to law school.
Sure.
So, but otherwise, I mean,
that was
what
am
I going to do with political science? Go back and get a master's and teach at college? So not really, because those who teach usually can't do. You know what I mean? And I wanted to get involved in politics. naively, whatever that word is,
What do you?
being naive.
Oh, naive. Yeah.
And wanting to, be a part of politics.
Sure.
Thinking it.
We had this idea, this preconception.
Exactly. Not knowing what it actually consists of. And then once,
preconceived.
Preconceived notion.
Notion, yeah.
Yeah. And,
not preconceived.
But, after I've seen, I don't even want to run for school board. You know what I mean? Because
now your mind is in a different place, man, right now because of some of your experiences.
It is. Like,
I mean, my mind, because of my injury, because of the things I experienced.
Absolutely.
But I mean, you had like this. My next question is like, what were your hopes and dreams? You mentioned, going to school because you wanted to get involved with,
like I said, I wanted to get involved in politics. I want to go to law school.
Politics and law school.
Yeah. And not be infantry for career. Like
but in the military, did you think of like JAG?
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to transition, so I wanted to get all the cool guy medals and all that for infantry and then transition to JAG and, maybe and do that like reserves for 20 years and you just chill, represent soldiers who are wrongfully accused and those who were rightfully accused, you know what I mean? Help the justice system, that's what I wanted to do.
Sure.
Be that JAG lawyer that people are like, oh hell yeah, we got Nick Morris for good. I'm innocent, I'm good. Don't worry, I got Nick. Kind of, but I mean,
oh yeah. Well, dreams change, man.
I used to have a pretty damn good memory, and now it's it's not.
Well,
it's not. It's
your body's been through
sucks, dude.
Hell, man.
Yeah. So
both physically and mentally,
Yeah,
I mean,
physically. I mean,
but you're here, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And our dreams and goals change all the time, and it's not a big deal.
I mean, when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a professional athlete, but come on, man.
You were. Professional soldier is an athlete, I think.
No, sure. No,
I mean, you have to be,
sure.
When you think about it, the Super Bowl, like for football players, is big, right? That's the big thing. Well, war for soldiers, for military personnel is the Super Bowl. And I mean, you have to be on your best freaking game when you are serving in a combat zone. For sure. Especially if you're a leader.
Yeah, you can't get complacent. Right? Yep.
You're in charge of people.
I mean, you got to be on your A game every day if you think about it, because one bad day, I mean,
it's your life.
Yeah, it's your leg.
It's your life, your body, the people you serve with. So, exactly. I mean, so this is the next question. I mean, do you believe that I always felt after my injury and kind of looking back on things, because I was a young guy and young enlisted guy. That there should have been, or should be for some, more resilience kind of training, something that preps you even more, or do you believe maybe that's worthless?
I don't think resilience is taught. I think it's you're born, you have it or you don't.
But do
you know what I mean? Like because like if you think about it, like,
but what about basic training? What about Ranger School? And
exactly.
Does that teach some sort of resilience to people?
No, it weeds out the weak.
You think it weeds out?
Yeah, it weeds it out.
You don't think it maybe okay? I believe you're probably mostly right.
Think about this, because either you have someone that's going to pass the PT, the Ranger PT, the 5 mile run, or you have someone who's not. And me, if I'm not going to pass them, I'm going to try and train on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and others won't.
99% of people will not train. Like after duty hours are done. Like I came out of college, and I was lifting weights, I was, just pounding, putting out size on, and went to infantry, and I used to run like a 13 minute 2 mile, which, and my fastest was a 12 something back in the day. But I went from that and haven't run 2 mile in 2 years. And I ran like something ridiculous, dude, slow. Right. So it was bad. Yeah. So I trained for two weeks on the off hours. I'd go on running they had the mile track at Benning. Yeah. The dirt track. Yeah. I would do that.
Sure.
Off hours and time myself so that when we ran it again, dude, I ran like a 14:30. Sure. And they're like, you shaved 5 minutes off your 2 mile in 2 weeks. How did you do it? I shifted my focus from lifting weights to running.
Yeah.
That's all I did. I lifted a little. I still lifted weights, but I didn't do heavy weight. I did more reps. So I probably lost like 15 pounds
Yeah,
easy.
There's got to be a balance.
Easy,
right?
and because I'm not going to do
Strength and
bad,
cardio.
because I don't want to. I want to be towards the top. I don't have to be the best at it, but I want to be working towards it. I don't want to be the bottom. So then when I came in, I was the bottom, but within 2 weeks, I was working towards the top.
Sure.
Easily.
Well,
and they were like, well, we've never seen this turn around before. I said, because you never seen me.
I like your answer, man.
So like what I'm saying, resiliency, you either have it, you don't. Because most people will do that. Actually, the guy who I was back there with, he didn't do that, because he didn't work like I did. He didn't have the heart I did. I knew I wasn't going to be there long. It sucked to be at the bottom for that little bit, but it was a great learning lesson to say I took that much time off, and it doesn't matter how resilient I am in my mind, my body can't if I'm 20 pounds heavier than I should be. So I lost that 20 pounds in that 2 weeks, and I did it right, and I ran a lot, and dude, the rest I did the Ranger 5 mile in like 36 minutes or some shit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So going from struggling with the 2 minute, two mile to crushing out all of it and running 10 miles with the platoon like it was nothing. Either you have it, you don't. It's not taught. You can't teach it.
I feel like you can forge
it, but most people like.
I agree with you. I think a lot of people don't have it, and in order. I mean,
you played sports with people.
Yeah,
and you're not going to put someone in the game who 99% chance he's.
Well, that's a leadership position. Yeah, well, that's a leadership position.
Not even anything. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I think some people in life do get the fire underneath them because maybe something horrible happens and they decide that they want to, and so an experience changes them. It doesn't happen to very many people, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying that most people, if they have this resiliency in them, it's almost innate.
What I'm saying
part
is,
of them.
It's very hard for me to believe a coddled kid growing up is gonna have the resiliency someone like you or I had going in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so what if someone is not coddled, but they are nurtured in a very strong way?
It depends.
So that means it's being forged.
I think that sports at a young age and up, in adolescence, up through high school is essential for developing that, because you're going to lose. No matter how good you are, you're going to lose.
Okay.
Growing up, you won't be you might be a handful of kids who are undefeated their whole life, but most people will lose in elementary, middle, or high school. And I played sports from elementary, middle, through high school and college. You know what I'm saying? And lost plenty. And and in the beginning, when we lose, I would cry like a bitch. You know what I mean? But at the end, you lose for a reason. Either you weren't prepared or your team's not prepared. If your team's not prepared, you're not prepared. So you know what I'm saying? So you learn that from sports that I did, and most kids don't do that. Most kids either play one sport that they're really good at, and they won't try another sport. Like, I played as many sports. Like, I picked up lacrosse like in middle school, and these kids have been playing since elementary school.
Sure.
Made all-star teams because of my skill.
Sure.
No, because I was faster. I had stamina. I wouldn't stop running, and I would go until I dropped. Like, I would get a heat stroke before I quit. You know what I mean? And these preppy kids would just quit because they didn't have it. And they only played lacrosse. I played football, lacrosse, wrestling, ran track, anything I played soccer for 2 seconds.
So you were self-driven.
Yeah.
A lot of
most people aren't.
Well, a lot of kids are driven into sports by their parents, not so much by the kid.
Because
I know a lot of kids
they should be
that are pushed. I'm not saying it's bad,
because most kids don't know what they want.
But most of those kids, they may not want to be, in the athletic sport that they're in, and they may be.
But they should find something during that time span that they want to do. Like, there's always another sport, at the same time.
Yeah. Well, they might be.
Oh, you don't want to play football? Okay, you can play soccer, because that's usually they go hand in hand. Oh, you don't want to do that? You could do men's field hockey or whatever. Or you could run cross country. Yeah. There's no excuse.
There's a lot of sports.
Yeah, and team sports are essential, because that's where you develop people relying on you and you having to step up.
Some people don't want to do sports. They go right to academics.
I know, and they don't develop that resiliency.
They don't develop a physical way to deal with the world.
So that for them to succeed in like special, like warfare group, it's really hard for them because they haven't exerted their body.
It would be difficult.
Very difficult. Mentally, cool, they're good, kinda, but physically, because the physical will overtake the mental. Once like the pain, oh, that'll make, I don't care how smart you are. There's nothing you can outthink to get rid of that pain other than just absorb it and suck it, just enjoy it, you know?
But the military, just like every kind of business or thing in the world, is compartmentalized. You have different roles, and there are people that are more fit for administrative tasks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in between, and then there are people that are fit for suffering, you know? And I think you're absolutely right. In order to suffer, you know, you have to have something within you that allows you to embrace that, because it can be, I believe it can be taught to some, very few, 1%, you know, but
there's always an exception, always.
But I mean, the military is the best playground and place to test your might, you know. So some people will go, you know, to the top in the sense of that physical and mental strength, and others will just drop
we
out.
need them all, because I don't know anything about computers. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about, oh, you got a virus. I'm like, oh, well, McAfee didn't work. I mean, what's going on? I don't know. That's why I like Apples, because of that. Because the you know,
they got a better.
I don't
they're
know.
more closed.
I don't know how they
environment.
do that shit. Like,
It's just not. It's less open source kind of.
so I mean, obviously, cyber warfare. I couldn't do it. I don't know what's going on. So we need those dudes, and then we need the guys
You could learn
doing the satellite. Dude, I could not. Dude, come on, man. You have to have some sort
I think
of
you
interest.
can. I think anybody can. You do have to have an interest,
Yeah,
but I think if
don't.
you had to, you could, because
No.
everybody's capable
Yeah,
of
maybe.
learning.
I just don't want to.
Well, that's the thing.
that's
that
true.
don't not wanting to is different than being forced to do
No,
something.
you're right. You're right.
But I mean, if someone puts you in the situation where you had to fight for your life, you know, if you if you had a strong will to survive,
If
you're
it's
gonna
physical
try.
contact, I will go out like that. But if they're like, you have to figure this computer code out in 2 hours, your family dies. I'm like, dude, you just, all right, well, I'm sorry.
They're dead.
I love my family, but bye. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like,
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'm going to figure that out. I'm gonna be like, oh.
so my next question, so we'll move on, is this has to do kind of interesting thing is like before you like went off to serve in Iraq or Afghanistan, what was your like mind set about the care you would receive if you were wounded?
I didn't think I
Did
was
you
gonna
know
do it.
anything at all?
First of all, no, I didn't know anything about.
It wasn't even on your mind.
No,
Right?
no one discussed it. No, because it's bad juju. Like in the infantry, it's like sports. It's like bad luck. You know, you don't want to jinx yourself, even though as dumb as that might sound. And most infantry guys played a lot of sports, so we pretty much go off the same rules. So you don't really try to jinx yourself. And I made some jokes about being an amputee to some of my guys that they told me about, and I don't remember. And that's hilarious. But see, I jinxed myself.
No, they
Just kidding.
No, I get it.
I'm just kidding.
I mean,
No,
they depict this kind of stuff in movies,
dude.
you know. But
I
it's
don't know
true.
about
It's
the
true.
movies, but
People
I
are there's taboo things or rituals, you know, like don't put your blood. You know,
we
you
talked about nonsense most of the time. Just keep your mind off of the real stuff.
distract you.
Yeah, we do like the what if game. What would you do if? Yeah, and just because that's something you can
strategize.
Is that something you could keep going for hours of nonsense? And I used to be the king of that before my brain injury. And my dudes still like kind of make fun of it. And like, oh, hey, what would you do? I was like, I can't do that now. I can't think that quick. 'Cause I used to be witty, dude. I used to, think on my feet quick, and I would do that for days. And they give me an answer. Well, what would you? And have them think about it. But it's just fun little games like that. But no, never once talked about getting wounded.
So yeah, it's the same for me.
Never.
I mean,
never thought about it. I don't want to say I thought I was invincible, but I just didn't think I'd get hurt.
I thought about it a lot, but I didn't have conversations with people.
No.
I thought about not so much like in depth about like suffering or being, I just thought about what I saw on television. Because before I joined the military, every day I watched the ticker go by, people dying, or I started to see things about amputees more, and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I was in theater or before I served, I didn't actually think about blindness, but I thought about losing a leg.
Yeah.
I thought about, losing an arm or being shot.
Yeah.
But didn't converse about it with guys. We didn't talk about it.
Jokes about it. Like, like morbidly. It's like one of those jokes. It's like a morbid jokes. Like, it's not really funny, but, it's like, you kind of want to like, I said like a lot, but you kind of want to make
lighthearted
jokes about it.
Yeah,
kind of like
so
ease the mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We did. I mean, we joked about
it. But personally, I never thought I would be. I mean, worst case shot, but I mean, we had those sappy plates, so I wasn't worried about dying.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't think I was getting shot in the face or anything. These dudes, they were shitty shots, dude.
Well, after getting there, you know, I realized I was probably not going to get shot. I was going to get fucking blown up.
Yeah.
That's what I realized because of the, you know, the types of.
Yeah, they were
the types of what the enemy was doing on the battlefield.
Absolutely.
You know, it was less small arms and more explosives and homemade explosive devices and shit like that. But so then my next question is, how did you stay strong? You know, in that kind of environment.
What, overseas?
Yeah, when you were in, like, what kept you focused, strong,
I mean,
and you know, mentally, physically?
Lifted weights. You know what I mean? I lifted weights, a lot of weights. I mean, just kept busy. Busy work. I mean, we go out on missions, you know, daily, and just you didn't have too much downtime, so you're always which is a good thing. Yeah, right. Yeah, because
I mean, it's
otherwise
horrible.
You're thinking about like your girl cheating on you or something.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that much downtime when we did. You know, I lifted weights.
Right down the way from me, where my hooch in Iraq, a guy blew his head off with a M249, and it became a crime scene. You know,
what the hell?
And every day we'd walk by.
He sawed his face off.
Yeah, that's our dark humor. Dude. A saw is a squad automatic weapon.
Damn,
and
man.
So
that's what
it's
the
nickname
how many bursts,
for them.
3 to 5, right? 3 to 5 round burst.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
But
what?
Just to give some people some perspective, it's an M249 saw. That's what he's talking about.
Didn't he have
he wasn't he wasn't even combat at arms.
Yeah, but didn't he have a Beretta if he's he had a saw?
Yeah, he may have. I don't know. He was not a he was not rolling out into sector. He was a guy that was working in administration.
Who gave him administrative?
They gave those kinds of weapon systems to the strangest freaking guys.
Hell, dude, I'd want to have a saw.
You know,
that's unfair, man. Give me a saw. See,
I had a saw. You know,
oh my god!
But I had a modified short barrel
one. Yeah, those are tight, dude.
Yeah, and yeah. I mean,
like those.
But that's the thing, you know. I remember they because the hooches that we were in, because we were part of this personal security detail for a general officer. We were near the multinational division forces headquarters, so they had mobile trailers that we were staying in, two to a trailer, and you know they were nice.
Sweet,
you know,
man.
You know, we were working with the general, so you know we had a pretty sweet.
Did you guys have good food?
What?
How was the food?
Well, we had a nice mess hall. Yeah, Petraeus, Odierno, they were always around. But when you know, we would also, when we left to go on operations, we would sleep in our trucks on outposts. When we were away from our forward operating base. But yeah, I remember every morning when we were leaving from where we were staying, I'd walk by that trailer because they moved it. They literally lifted it with a crane where he shot himself. So you'd walk by it, and every day you know, like when you're going on a mission, this guy blew his head off.
No one told the next person living there what happened, right?
No, they knew. I mean, they took the trailer away. It was strange because there were a bunch of these trailers in a row, and it was an empty trailer. So every time you walked
are we talking like a Connex box or a trailer?
Yeah, kind of like it was a trailer. It was a trailer.
Hold up, like a camping trailer?
No, like a mobile home trailer.
Oh, yeah. It's like those half trailers.
Those half trailers.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's very simple.
I've seen those.
Yeah.
We didn't have that shit.
This was what year were you wounded?
2011.
Yeah, but you were in Afghanistan.
Dude, we were in a COP.
Yeah, you were in a COP. I was on a FOB.
We went from living in holes to living in tents.
Oh, we visited those kinds of places, but I mean,
we did get a generator eventually.
Oh no, yeah, I mean, some of
the talk was in a Connex box.
I mean, some of the cops in Iraq were just blown out homes with T-walls. The engineers built walls around them.
We had to use those wire HESCO things and fill them up with dirt.
Yeah, the engineers did that. They built either T-walls or HESCO barriers. Those HESCO barriers.
Yeah, we had to do that.
Yeah. or sandbags, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you could put up. But yeah, man.
Turn a nothing into something. It was cool because when we first got there, we slept in holes, and then we finally got a wall up, and they put up tents, and they put up towers. It was cool. In the middle of nowhere, dude. Middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
In the middle of this like valley surrounded by mountains. Like, this is the dumbest place to put anything.
Well, you're down in a valley.
Dude, but we had 2 OPs, like high up OPs, that were manned by the ANA, and we'd go check them like weekly and go up there and hike our ass off. Dude, it was tight.
It's the worst situation though. It's the same thing.
So cool, man.
Well, I mean,
it's beautiful. Dude, it's like being a Boy Scout.
I think it's ANA is the Afghan National Army, right?
Yeah.
And in Iraq we had the Iraqi.
But ours were way more trustworthy than those.
Yeah,
these dudes.
Some Iraqis were, and others were not.
Were fighting for their country, dude. They weren't fighting for us.
I didn't trust any of those fuckers.
I mean, but to a certain extent, they never shot on us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that you didn't trust them.
They would just let a little thing slide. Let people go by.
Yeah.
You're like, come, dude, why don't you guys smoke these dudes?
You had to fucking.
Yeah.
We had the IA, the Iraqi army, and the IPs, Iraqi police, and it was. Those Iraqi police, they'd smuggle shit on the road. They'd let their buddies come in and put fucking explosives on the road.
Yep.
But
there's always those.
Some were very faithful, and others weren't. We had an interpreter who was from the first Gulf War that was working. He came to the U.S., became a U.S. citizen,
and came back.
It was a Department of Defense contractor. No, was a linguist for us.
That's cool.
But he was a U.S. citizen, but. So he was very faithful, but yeah, he served with the Iraqi National Guard in the first Gulf War, So next,
he was forced though.
Yeah,
he got his ass whooped.
Yeah. I mean, you're born into it, That's
he was 0-1 coming in.
But next question, I think, man, is when were you wounded?
What June 7th, 2011.
June 7th, 2011. Yep. And what were your specific injuries like? If you don't mind.
First of all, we ran over a pressure plate IED, triple stacked anti-tank mines with some homemade explosive.
It was pressure plate?
Yeah, drive. I was lead vehicle, just right over it. Didn't even feel it. And I thought because I was in one of those MATVs, the V-shaped holes. Dude, it blew it in half. right under my seat. So yeah, but I broke my right femur, broke my back, my coccyx, my jaw in 3 places, my left ankle, calcaneus, tib fib, ankle. I already said it, but and then amputated my right leg.
Sure.
And what else? Oh, the TBI and all that fun shit that comes with it. I had a moderate TBI, so it's not like you have a mild, moderate, and severe. So I was like moderate to severe. To the point that they wanted to send me to Richmond, Virginia for some TBI clinic. Yeah. And because they felt that was more of a priority than my legs and my back and everything else.
Yeah. I was part of a TBI research program.
My mom,
too.
She's a nurse, so she thinks she knows everything. I love my mom. But, you know how nurses are. But she was more worried about my physical condition than my whatever. So I ended up staying at Walter Reed, and
so that's where you went.
Yeah, I went to Walter Reed, the old Walter Reed, and then eventually
went through Germany though, right?
Longstill, yeah, but I was in a coma.
Yeah,
so I don't remember. I was in Longstill for a few days. They're trying to stabilize me to fly, and at one point, although I don't remember any of this, this is what my mom says, but they were gonna expedite my parents' passports and fly them because they didn't know if I was gonna be able to make the flight back to the United States. Yeah. Because I was in bad condition and all that shit.
Said the same about me.
Yeah, right. So
the code was like
they're about
life was like questionable.
So they call my parents. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna have to fly." My mom's like, "Oh my god, okay." Yeah. My dad's like, "Nah, I'll see him when he gets back to the States. He'll be fine." I was like, "Yeah." So my mom's like, already gave up. Like, "Oh no, he's." And my dad's like, "No, I'm not. I don't accept that." That's what he's like. I know my son. He's not. I know him. Dude, stop. And my mom's like freaking out, and so my dad's like,
"That's what moms do."
And at least my dad knew more about me than my mom did because she automatically, he's going to die in Germany. Hell no, I'm not going to die in Germany. Fuck.
I remember just saying in my mind all the time, no matter what, I'm coming home.
Dude, I don't remember anything.
Yeah. No, I mean just before I was even wounded.
Oh.
I was just making promises to myself, and
shit.
I was telling people, no matter what, I'm fucking coming home.
Oh, dude, I never even thought about it, man. I thought about my next move, after I,
Yeah.
But
I mean, I didn't worry about
but
it.
I like,
just,
I got blown up and I woke up at Walter Reed.
I fucking
3 weeks later, dude, and then they told me, and it was weird because when I woke up, my because I was in the ICU for a minute, my ICU doctor was a dude I wrestled with in high school, named Jason Unger. And he was he was in the Army as a doctor now, and I didn't know he went into the Army because he was a couple years ahead of me, right? But I wrestled with this dude for years. I knew him and his family, and he's my doctor, so it felt like a dream.
Sure.
So like, it was hard for me to comprehend what happened for a minute, because I was on a ketamine, which is apparently it's a horse tranquilizer, but I was on that, so. That put me like in the weirdest scenarios, and it was weird. It was weird, and like, I don't know. It took me a while for my brain to realize what had happened.
Yeah,
you know what
same
I mean.
here.
I mean, the pain was there because you feel the pain, but mentally, I was like, what? And they'd always I remember this. They kept asking me the time, and the blast had like my watch, and I had one of those Sunto badass watches at the time. Now they have a billion times better watches. But anyway, I was wearing that, but the concussion from the blast like exploded it on my wrist.
Yeah.
So I kept looking at it, and I had like this like scab on there from the battery exploding or whatever.
Sure.
And I'm trying to look for my watch. I looking every day, like, what time it is. And apparently, I don't remember this, but apparently they were telling me the time, and like 5 minutes later asking me if I knew what time it was. And dude, I was so messed up mentally, I couldn't comprehend. It took me probably months to realize, because it was the doctor, being someone I knew growing up, didn't help, but like my brain was just whacked, man.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and all the drugs don't help,
No, all the drugs definitely. I mean, that was the same for me. I was, my mind was cloudy for a month, especially the first couple of weeks coming back and coming off of morphine, for me, I felt like I had no reference of coming from the other side of the planet to the U.S. Dude. So I woke up and I felt like I was in some weird fucking dream.
Right.
Right. Where the hell are you? What's going on?
How did I not remember traveling 23 hours and how you tell me I was in Germany for how long?
Yeah.
Dude, like, come on, I don't believe you.
Exactly.
This is not Walter. What is Walter Reed? I don't know.
No, yeah, I have the same experience, man. And it's like your brain slowly pieces everything
like
back.
It's a mystery.
Puts everything. Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah. Oh no, I hear what you're saying, man. How long?
It was surreal, man.
It was very surreal.
It's one of those experiences like I don't wish
like
upon
movies,
anyone,
right?
but like I'm glad I have it, because sometimes I look back and I'm like, dang, that was so
trippy.
It was so surreal. Like, I hate using the same note, but it was just.
It was very surreal.
It was like it was weird, but not like it was not in the worst of ways. But it was like an experience that I wouldn't have traded for anything. It put me through, like, I didn't know that I can endure that much pain.
It's kind of like what,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, movies, like, when they try to depict like a soldier's thought process of like being pulled off the battlefield in some of the films.
Man.
They blackouts, noises. Hearing. It's the same. I recall a lot of the jet engine, people screaming, yelling, like someone standing next to me.
Oh, after you got hurt.
Yeah, I remember those things, but they feel like dreams.
But are you glad you have that? Because I don't have that.
I mean,
I was not. I was out.
You were totally out. Yeah,
bro. Like my brain.
I mean, they told me I was
like
talking.
Pregnancy. I got like pregnancy brain. I don't remember it.
Yeah,
I don't remember a damn thing.
I don't remember much, man. I just remember those little things.
And it was to the point that my injuries were so bad that they thought I wasn't wearing my belt, and that but first reports that I was thrown from the vehicle 50 yards or some shit because I was sustained so many injuries. And then I asked my dudes, it's like, is this true? Because I don't know. I can't remember if I had my seatbelt. I'm pretty sure I always put my seatbelt on.
Yeah,
the harness.
I had one
3-point harness, and it was because it's not like uncomfortable. It's easy. It's just. you just do something, you train to do it, and you do it. Anyway, and they're like, no, you had the seatbelt on. We pulled you out of the vehicle, but you were jacked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I may not have been wearing a
And I don't
seatbelt.
remember anything. I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a blessing. I feel like I was cheated in some way. Like you were given that experience.
But I only remember sounds, like listening.
But still.
I don't remember.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Are you glad you have those?
I wish I knew more.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
man.
I wish I
Yeah.
knew more. Actually,
I want to know it all.
So you're saying, yeah,
I want that experience.
I hear what you're saying.
I want that experience.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like it was stolen from me.
I feel like I feel the same. But
I went through all this shit, and I want that experience.
yeah,
And
you did have it. You just can't remember.
I can't remember, and,
Yeah.
and there's probably a good reason because then
your body goes into shock.
Yeah, and my mind knows better than what I know. You know what I mean?
Well, when you get your body suffered serious trauma.
And I don't know if you believe in a higher power, and I do. So I think everything happens for a reason, and even I don't understand. It's not for me to understand.
Yeah, that's exactly how
You know,
I believe in something, man. And things do. You know what? I want to believe that I'm going to be the one that decides the reason. You know, I may not be able to choose, but I'm going to try my hardest. You know, so. But yeah, I feel what you're saying. You know, I mean, there is a higher power.
oh yeah.
You know, how long were you in the hospital? You'd say
For all the treatments, like
for everything. Yeah, your recovery.
2 years, man.
2 years.
Yeah, you.
I was wounded in May of 2008, May 13th. I probably got back in 3 days to the U.S. Same thing through Launchtool, Germany.
Yeah.
And just a little story about Launchtool. I went back to visit as a blind soldier.
And did they remember you?
I met one of the people, the occupational therapist that worked with me at Walter Reed. She went and worked I went through Launchtool and then got to Walter Reed, and there was an occupational therapist that worked with me. Then I went home and went on with my life.
Oh yeah.
And then I decided, because I was part of a thing, that I was going to go to Germany and go to Launchtool to visit the ICU, the intensive care unit. And when I went there, the occupational therapist that worked with me in Walter Reed was working there. So we talked, and I remembered her. Yeah.
That's so cool.
But I sat with soldiers that had 30, 45 minutes, 3 hours, within 24 hours had been shot or blown up. You know, so I was sitting at the bedside of people like you and I that were there, that were conscious, they said, because they asked the group that I was with, the people, the soldiers that were on the ward had to agree for us to come in and talk with them. Not all of them wanted to talk to people.
Because you can go like room to room at Walter.
Yeah,
Reed.
we went. Yeah, if they want you to come in.
Yeah. Well, they ask you before.
They asked you, yeah. And so I went in, and man, it was awkward. Even though I was a soldier blown up, there was a guy that took a round through his arm. They amputated it, and he got shot, I think, in a few places, and he had some other injuries, and he was totally just like, how should I say? Like, I kind of remember feeling that just numb, just kind of like neutral, just kind of not sad, not depressed, not upset, not mad, just kind of like in this weird shell of emotions, and I don't know how to explain it. But he talked, and all I could say to him is like, I just was like, you know what, how are you doing, man?
Yeah.
What unit were you with?
Yep.
How are you bros, you think? What are they? Those are the questions that come to mind, because I know a lot of people, they told me when they met me, or they just don't know what to say, But I just wanted to talk to him about his unit, about what he was doing. That kind
I'm more
of
interested in just like this, like other things, like what are your hobbies?
Well, yeah, that too. Like, what's your goals after you get out of here?
Like something I can relate. Who's your college team in football?
Sure.
Oh yeah, Alabama. Oh, okay, I'm South Carolina. Hope you guys lose every game.
No, that's true.
I just look for something to connect. Otherwise, because when something like it's an arm amputee or someone who's more like double leg, or above knee, it's like I don't try to relate. I don't want to relate because I won't. It's two different experiences.
You mean relate in the sense of the injury?
Yeah. I've been those leg. I don't care. I'm more interested as them as a person. You know?
Exactly.
How are you doing, bro? Like mentally, how are your teams doing? Like, do you like sports? Like, where are you from? Like shit like that. Because we already know the answers. Are you in pain? Hell yeah, he's in pain. You know, are you depressed? Probably. And you know, and it's up for him to get over it. My stuff is more kind of trying to relate. I'd like to relate with veterans.
Sure.
You know, and every day, like when I talk to Vietnam veterans, I try to relate with them because they had different experiences. You know, they had more combat in theater than any other soldier out there in a year. Like they were like 200 and something days every year of combat. And World War II, I think on average was like 80 or something. I don't know. I'm throwing numbers out. I know it was that much ridiculous, and ours is not even a quarter of that. You know.
Sure.
So I don't try to relate with them on combat. I'll relate like.
No, yeah.
I know.
Well, you have experience.
I'll relate. Oh, did you go to school? Okay, cool. You went to Kentucky. That's cool. Your football team's looking good this year, you know. And then you relate on different. And then if they open up to you on that different spectrum, cool. If not, no sweat off my back. You know, I mean, like my grandfather, he was a Korean War vet, you know, and I think he told one story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah,
he was a tanker, and it's funny because he joined the California National Guard thinking he was going to do that to avoid any. You know, it was after World War II, so he was like, I don't want to go to war, dude. The Korean War happens, they send the Marines and the California National Guard.
Yeah,
so good choice. But he was a tanker, and they sent him to tanker school for a few weeks, and then over to Korea. Yeah, and. That, I mean, seriously, he told me one or two stories and I never dug that much in because if he felt comfortable, tell me more, you know, that's cool. And he would, but you know, he never did. I wasn't close to him. He lived in California.
Yeah.
You know, and my mom was raised by her mom. So she wasn't as close to her dad or actually dude, both my mom's parents, dude, they weren't like family oriented. You know what I mean? They're more like alcoholics.
Yeah.
But like socially functional, you know, they both retired and good jobs and blah, blah, blah. But alcoholics because they're Irish. I'm not trying to sound derogatory. It's just and it's in, you know, I don't know if it's in the blood, but
it's part of the culture.
They just were, it was, she liked wine and he liked.
But drinking is
beer.
part of
he liked
just
that
the
Bush.
American culture.
He liked Bush.
Yeah.
The nasty beer. And then he would drink like dark liquor in the afternoon, but he's one of those drunks that like, if he wasn't drinking, he would, you know, he wasn't a good driver, so he'd always, you know, have a little cup, just like the old timers do, like usually the coffee cup and put some alcohol in it, you know, with some coffee in it, just enough coffee to give it a different, you know, so it doesn't smell on their breath. I don't know, but and they drive fine. They don't pound it and they're not hammered, but they're always, you know,
they keep a buzz.
They keep a little buzz, you know. They just keep it in their system because they shake if they don't. But I just try to relate. That's what I'm getting to.
No, I get what you're saying, man.
And most of the time, I'm not going to because just that's how it is. But I want to relate to them as a person. It's not a dick measuring contest for me. I don't really care what you've done. You know, it's what are you doing after? Like whether you're hurt or not. Like okay, cool. Like what did you do after the military? You know, what are you doing now? What are your goals? You know.
Well, it's interesting being there in launch tool because there was also a Georgian soldier that was working with U.S. forces, coalition forces, on the ground in Afghanistan, and he took a round through his neck.
Oh,
and he was laying. It was really hard because he didn't speak English, and the interpreter wasn't in the room, and there was my group was in there. Few of us went in, and we couldn't touch him. We couldn't shake his hand or anything because of infectious disease and stuff. But
MRSA.
He was crying a lot. You know, he couldn't move at all. He was just laying in the hospital
in pain,
bed.
crying.
I think it just because the shock of not being able to move.
Oh,
and I think he was completely paralyzed.
Oh, damn! Okay,
from the neck down.
That's different
because the sniper round went through his neck.
How long would it take you to overcome that? I don't think I'd ever overcome that.
Well, I don't know.
Going from being paralyzed, active person to being paralyzed from the neck down, to Christopher Reeve in it.
You don't have a choice, really. You know?
No, I know. Look at
if it happens, it happens. You know. But it was the same thing. I felt the same thing about blindness. I thought that I wouldn't want to live life, but if I lost my sight, you know. but that's
not true.
not true apparently.
But imagine.
But if I lost my whole ability to move,
well, but you don't know because gives you another chance. So look at what's his name, the one dude, the dude who was in the wheelchair.
Oh, Stephen
Hawking.
Yeah.
He went from being,
he became
a brainiac professor to being in a chair and sounding like a robot. You know what I mean?
He focused on the brain.
It was great.
He was always doing stuff. And
instead of being in his head and thinking, "Oh, this is bad," no. I'm going to solve equations in my head while I'm sitting here.
Sure.
Ha ha, losers. Well, yeah.
Well, his mind.
You're worried about walking. I'm worried about solving this equation for cold fusion or something. You know, it's cool. It's all about how you look at it.
It's adapting.
It. Like
he adapted. He used his brain because that's what he had.
And I was glad that I went to Walter Reed with a lot of amputees. Me, I felt sorry for myself for like 15 minutes. Until I got out of my room for the first time.
Yeah.
And got down and seeing people that are just jacked up, missing both their legs and arm, trach just like me, all jacked up, and having a smile and just running around on these stupid little leg
guys getting their face ripped off.
Yeah. Dude, just happy to be there.
Totally,
I met that one dude, I forget his name, but he's on all those, or was on those Wounded Warrior commercials, he's all burned up. Yeah. And I met him at
I know who you're talking about.
Fort Sam Houston when I was getting the IDEO brace. And I asked him, I was like, dude, how much pain you? And he's, dude, it hurts to shower.
Yeah.
And I said, dude, are you glad? He's like, yeah, yeah. He was glad because he had kids and
glad to be alive.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like,
second chance.
I asked, just weird questions. Me and him in the room, and I was like, dude, are you glad to be alive?
I don't think it's weird
with all the pain, because thinking, skin grafting, joke that hurts. You can't get sunburn. You can't be exposed to the sun. Like you're like,
well, burns are some of the worst injuries.
The worst. And the pain is unmatched
because it screws up your whole.
You're right.
Body.
I burn myself like on the stove on my finger, and that hurts for days. And that's a joke.
It destroys your whole epidermis, your whole outer skin, your skin, and you're sweating.
It crushes your.
You can't control.
It crushes your system, dude. You can't control heat, coolness. Like you're always like.
Well, the largest organ is your skin.
Yep.
And so, it's just totally destroyed.
I was able to see that there's always someone worse.
Yeah.
Off,
death
and who's in a better mood than you every day.
Yeah. For me, I lost buddies like I'm sure you did.
Oh yeah.
And they died next to me. Some died.
Most of them suicide, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, mine. Yeah. Both. I've had both. Now lately suicide.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit here before the show is over. But I think a question I have is like, so the VA, like personally, the VA, there were good and bad. I think mostly good for me.
For me too.
I would say I had a lot of good. My rehab stuff, my blind rehab was top notch. Some of the doctors, specialists, like in my ear, nose, and throat.
Yeah,
I had some problems.
Oh yeah.
But mostly, a lot of good care, and I think it was because, in my mind, it's a two-way street. I fought, and I told the doctors, and I told people, what I wanted and how I wanted my care, and I expressed that, and I didn't just let it, like people run my life. I made sure that I was getting good care.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes, depending on soldiers, or Marines or airmen, what their mental state is, they may let it go.
Well, if you come to the table and they see someone who they can kind of push around, let's be real. Okay, they're like, okay, if I push Steve Baskis around, this guy's gonna raise hell. He's gonna talk to my boss. He's gonna ensure that he's getting like me. Like I always. Not demanded good care.
Yeah,
but
no, I didn't.
But I expected it. You know what I mean? And
I just asked questions. And really is all I did.
And if I got like an attitude, I just go around them. I would just talk to someone higher. I didn't play games.
Yeah.
So once you establish you're that patient, they kind of don't mess with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if they put in the system. This dude won't back down. But honestly, between you and me, they look at us and they go, okay, these guys are active. They're not giving up on life. So I think we portray excellence. That's,
exude
yeah, we exude it. Like, so if you look at this one guy who's an amputee and he's walking all crutch, and no matter how, because I'm always in pain, either my back or my limb salvage leg, or even the amputee leg every once in a while, get like, but I'm always in pain. I'm always from either, a 5 to a 7.
Sure.
And I hope to say,
I'm the same,
right? And sometimes
like
it
4 or
goes
5.
worse, but there's no excuse for not, trying to make yourself better. If you're too heavy and it hurts to walk, lose weight. If you can't do cardio off the bat, start with a bike and cut your calories and lose it, and then eventually get on that on the treadmill and walk. I'm not saying running, because I hate running now. It hurts everything. I used to love running. It hurts everything to run.
So you're going in the direction I want to go in. Recovery,
It starts physically.
I was asking you
and
how
it comes
long.
around mentally.
So for me personally, I considered immediately laying there in the hospital bed, I was thinking about what my life is now. Like, okay, I'm blind. What the hell does that mean? Like, how am I going to do these things that I've always wanted to, the things I've dreamt of doing? How is that going to happen? And, I didn't really worry too much about it. I just thought about it. I was like, I can't drive anymore. I can't do this, this fucking sucks,
Yeah, I know for sure.
Woe is me. But I had the, 15-minute, like you said.
Did you feel like you lost a sense of freedom?
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, because I
can't do anything really in unfamiliar places without people helping or a tool. I have to use a tool or I have to ask people. And so absolutely, I feel like I've lost independence and freedom.
But do you feel now that you've gained some of that back?
I've gained it back in a classy way. I've been able to figure out through techniques, systems, procedures, whatever you want, tactics, techniques, TTPs, right?
Yeah.
I've figured out how to do a lot of things on my own using technology, thankfully. But there's always this feeling that like my independence is not true. I'm not truly, no one's really truly ever independent. As humans, we work as teams to finish things and accomplish things.
That's true.
But
the successful ones, there's always one person who likes to roll by himself, and he struggles. That's usually me. Yeah.
But we all, in life, inventing things, there's teams of researchers, scientists, we build things together. We have companies.
2 heads are better than
everything,
one.
It's always that way. Going hiking in the mountains alone, I dreamt about that. I wanted to do that.
Dude, I've done it. It sucks. I'm not playing because it sucks, man. It sucks.
But I'm just being honest with you. That I was pissed off that I can't pursue that. Now I'm happy
being truly alone and with the wild. Is that
just having those moments sometimes, not always doing it alone, always being alone. Yeah. I'm just saying I wanted it. I yearned it.
It's one of those experiences. It's a good experience.
But I do realize it's great to be with my buddies in the mountains too. I've just embraced it.
I feel
it is what it is.
I feel like with that, I get more out of it when I'm with people sharing the experience.
Sure.
When it's just me, because I expect nothing but the best from me. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
not going to quit unless the damn storm comes in and that's not my fault. And but when I'm with someone else,
sometimes you got to help those
we
people.
all peak.
Yeah,
dude, it's more joyous and it's.
Well, people can remember the whole thing.
My little brother came out years ago. Well, he didn't come out. He was working in the Springs.
Yeah,
and I was living in the Denver metro at the time. And that's when I did 22 mountains that one summer with my little brother. And it's an experience I'll never, ever forget, because he was young. He's younger than me. He's, significantly longer, like 6, 7 years. He's younger than me. And so I grew up, I was pretty much out of the house before, he hit maturity age. And so I didn't really know this, know him for the person he was, except for the little kid I knew, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got to meet the man, my little brother, the man. And it was cool to do. I didn't do all 22 with him. I did, some with another buddy, but I did I think 12 or 13 with him.
Quite a few, yeah.
And it was one of those experiences I'll never get back.
Well, sharing
it brought us it brought us because we weren't the closest. I'm 1 of 5, and now we're close because we did we exerted ourselves in some cool mountains, and it's an experience that will live with me the rest of my life.
No, and it's good to share those moments, man.
But when you're alone, it's you're sharing it with yourself, and that's not as it's not as fun. It's like watching a sporting event by yourself, and your team scores a touchdown. You jump up you want to jump up, give the guy next to you a high five,
but they're not there.
No one's there. And you're like, dude, I'm here by myself watching. This is not that fun.
Well,
It's really not like
yeah.
because my girl's not a South Carolina fan, and we wiped Florida's ass. We beat that ass last weekend. We came out swinging, and so I'll watch it by myself, and I'll get excited and look around, and then I got the dogs, and they're like, "What the hell's this guy doing?" And it's not. It sucks, dude. I want to be in a group of my people, cheering on our team. Experiencing it with others makes it that much better.
Well, I agree, man. But so I mean, in this like moment of recovery for you, like what was the VA pushing you to do physical therapy, occupational therapy?
I've done them all, man.
Yeah.
I've done both.
I mean, and were they? I know there was a shift.
I did all that at Walter Reed, though.
Yeah, there was a shift or transition occurring to where the government, the VA, was like opening up the doors to third-party things like nonprofits and for physical things, for recreational therapy,
like the hiking and all that stuff.
Yeah, did that ever come about?
It did, like
a little bit, or
earlier on in my process, like they wanted me to do the training to go to like was it either Mount Rainier or Denali or some shit. And earlier on,
you weren't interested.
No, I mean I was, but like walking,
it was
my
too
process,
hard.
it hurt.
Yeah.
Anything like for long periods of time, it hurt. So mentally, I didn't think I could go without destroying my leg. You know? And and it's like a 4-day expert. Like, dude, what about day 2? And I wake up, my shit's swollen, and like, so I
I get it. No,
so it wasn't until I started, like training in Boulder, doing the flat irons and stuff.
Yeah.
That I realized, dude, if I just do this, even with the blisters, because I came, man, in the beginning, they were everywhere. I would just use I was band-aided up. I'd take my thing off, my sleeve off, and sweat would come out because you have to take it out, wipe it off, and I would just have band-aids everywhere, dude.
Sure.
And from the massive things, and eventually it like built up the skin, even though it doesn't last long. That's the only bad thing about being amputee. The skin it's not like the bottom of a foot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe over time, but like with me, it's not, because I'll get the rubbing still, but doing it anyway. Like I made that my first summer, my main summer that I did it, I just made no excuses. Even if I had like blisters, I just put Band-Aid on and just go.
Just try.
Just go, dude. And I would just say, oh, I'll deal with that in the future. Oh, that's future Knicks problem, not mine. You know what I'm saying? So I lit my ass up. Like I will go and do in Harvard. We hiked into the to the valley, the Harvard Valley, and we camped there the night. And it was like 7 miles in. It was forever. I'm carrying carrying all this equipment, dude. And that night I get there, take off my leg, blah, 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 it's fine. Wake up the next morning and my knee is like bruised. My knee on my prosthetic side is bruised. So it's like, a bad sprain on an ankle. So I was like, dude, but we were 5 miles from the peak at that point, because it's like 12 miles. But we had hiked 7 miles in.
Sure.
So that night, and just camped out. But I said, dude, we're already here. Because my little brother's like, oh, we could. I said, no, dude, we're already here. And I'm not going to sit here and stand by while you guys go peak it, because then I'll have come back by my or with another group and do it. And if you allow your mind to dictate it, dude, the next time any adverse comes around, is you're gonna quit. And you can't. If you quit once, you're gonna quit multiple times. This is how it goes, Yeah, it's infectious. Quitting is infectious.
You have to accomplish things more than you quit or fail things.
Yeah, because if you quit once, dude, it's easier to quit the next time. It really is.
I agree.
Yeah. Oh, well,
becomes repetitive,
and then you just make excuses. Like excuses are a dime a dozen. Like I've heard them all. I've made them all.
No, you're right.
Like even when I hear me making excuses nowadays, it's gross, and I'm like, oh.
Do you have any organizations that you worked with that you like, that you want to shout out to?
I did some. I forgot.
You forget the names.
I forget the name.
I mean, I can name a bunch.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there, like that do skiing for veterans. And
here in Colorado, I mean, at every ski resort, there's like Breckenridge Outdoor Education Center, the BOEC, the Adaptive Sports Center in Crested Butte.
And then Winter Park has one too.
TASP, Telluride Adaptive Sports Program.
Yep.
Vail and all these Vail, I mean Aspen, they all have things.
And if they offer something in the winter, they usually offer something in the summer, like downhill mountain biking.
Yeah. Steamboat Stars, Steamboat Springs,
something.
There's there's other things
ice
like
climbing.
There's Team River Runner. There's high ground,
Mm-hmm.
I know our higher ground, I think, is the group. There's so many, man. I mean,
so
Disabled Sports USA, which I think they've changed the name.
Earlier on, I wish I would have gotten involved more in that, but it's
no big deal.
Like
I got involved because they came to the rehab.
They came.
Yeah.
And they tried to get me like the hockey and all that, and I was just
that stuff.
It's weird because with my brain injury, like it's hard for me to
be around people.
No, it's hard for me to be interested in things. You know what I mean? Like nothing really interests me, and like I lose like
mountains. Seem to interest you.
Oh yeah, but that's like a goal, But like as opposed to like I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No,
I lose interest.
Fuck, man.
And I like lose like
I was depressed.
Then depression comes.
I think it was depressed. I mean, I was depressed.
But it comes and goes, and it sucks, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
I was depressed about what I couldn't do.
Yeah.
I was. I still am, even to this day.
No, I hear that.
It'll never go away. I don't feel.
How do you deal with it?
I find other shit that I'm interested in.
Without like medications. Because I don't like,
See, I don't take medicine.
Me neither.
And I don't even smoke. But I consider medicine, and I consider smoking like pot
I use cannabis edibles
or drinking or whatever.
I can't drink.
I mean, I don't drink a lot.
I can't because that's how you open up.
Well, I can't. Any military guy can drink.
That's how you open up those portals,
can of worms.
Nope. Mm-mm.
But I mean, I've taught myself to be real disciplined about it. It gets carried away though when I'm around guys, vets.
Mm-hmm.
I want to drink a lot, pound 15 beers.
I don't want to have one drink.
But it screws my health up.
True.
And I value my health over drinking.
Same.
I'm glad I have that mindset. And if anybody's listening, Nick, I mean, people are going to listen to this, and it's going to help some, and it's not going to help others.
I had my problems with drinking.
And but I mean, I think you smoking pot or doing CB, having some THC stuff, whatever can
CBD.
help. If it can help you relax, hell yeah, man, more power to you. I try not to take anything because my reasoning, Nick, is I don't want to be caught in a situation where like I'm on a trip and I don't have any of my medicine, and it fucks me.
Yeah. I
want to be strong naturally for myself. Like
Absolutely.
I want to be ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just hard, I think I have to go through my mental checklist to check myself when I start thinking a certain way. I have created reminders in my brain when I start thinking of things that I shouldn't think about, I'm like, it's called mindfulness. Mental,
Are you talking about things that lead to like a panic attack?
Yeah, panic attack, dude, anxiety, suicidal shit, whatever.
For me, anytime I get like those like rushing thoughts, like I feel like a panic, I'll just get up and walk.
So that's a thing you've set in your mind.
Because not only will it take my mind off of what I'm thinking, but the pain of walking will for refocus.
Well, see, that's a good point.
Think about okay,
it's fucking shit.
My mind sucks right now, but at least I'm.
Well, see, you asked me what do I do to with minus medicine to focus, and I am very good at like picking things as goals to set my mind to work on. So like now I'm into techie things. So if I get bored with doing physical things, which I never do, but if I want to do something different, I can get on the computer and study. Like I'm going to school, and I get really like involved with trying to learn something. And that keeps, just like walking, like you said, but physical things like you're talking about, like walking, really do distract me. So if I get down to push-ups, sit-ups, squats,
that's good. Yeah.
Pull-ups, if I run
like that.
On the treadmill,
I like that push-up thing. Bad thought, give me 25.
Yeah, I just do push-ups. No, that's a great thing.
Smart. Think about it.
I just fucking get down and be like, okay.
Oh, you want to think like that? Give me 25, you loser.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm always talking shit to myself.
No, me too. I'm like, I also used to think things like, I got to get there. My buddies need me. You know,
Yeah.
I got to run faster. Like, you know, I set like repetition goals.
You don't
like,
want to let people down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
people are dying. I need to get there. I gotta do more push-ups.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've always been.
That's
man.
the perfect way to look at it.
And it does. It drives you because it drives you to be healthy at the same time, push your mind away from other kinds of things. And you have to kind of make it a habit. Like you said, if you make the habit quitting and you make the habit drinking and like being sorry, it will haunt you and destroy you. And you don't want that. Hey, it's not, you're not immune to it. I'm not immune to it.
No.
I feel it. And when that urge comes around those things, I try to focus on those things that we're talking about. I try to latch onto those things. And, you know, mountaineering was one of the first things, you know, I mean, next tandem bike riding, I didn't want to do it. I was like, fucking 2-person bike. This is bullshit.
That's kind of cool.
That's for sissies, you know,
Yeah,
like,
make them
I want to be on my own damn bike, you know, but you know, when you're on these bikes, you have to pedal together, you know, there's no like you work together and plus you weigh more. So going up hills, if you, for instance, if you weigh 150 pounds, the other person has 150, that's 300 pounds plus the bike, 350
I'm gonna
pounds.
get up and walk it up the hill.
You know, so it's, you're working really hard, you know, to get up the mountain. So, but I love that fucking hurt,
push,
that pain, you know,
the burning pain,
that burning pain,
not the
you
hurt. No, you're not. It's
a good pain.
Yeah, the good pain, the burning,
the
like,
burning.
Oh, the muscles
it means you're
and
becoming
tearing.
stronger.
Yeah, you're
gonna be strong.
Sweating, you can feel the wet. You know,
you're ripping those muscles.
Dude.
Those muscles are gonna heal, and you're gonna be strong.
You know, you're just killing it.
And then you know, people respect you more. You know, I don't necessarily care what fucking people think, but automatically people respect you more
when you don't quit.
Yep. And you try hard,
because the majority of people know
that it's easy to quit.
Someone who's been in a situation where, you know, they face adversity and they just quit. Like, say you have your hip replaced. Okay. You know, your surgery doesn't go as well as you planned. Okay. And you can't walk and blah, blah, blah. But you know what you could, you know, there's always something around it. You know, you can, I don't know. But in that situation, you got to figure out how not to become fat and lazy, because that'll it'll make it worse. You know,
it's going to compound.
It's going to make the situation that much worse.
You know, it's good pointers, man. I mean, and it's, again, you know, we were talking about it earlier, like you were saying, I asked you about resiliency. It's like, if we kind of believe that some people don't have this, then I guess it's hopeless, you know, to some degree. Like some people will not find the mental strength to tackle the problems that they have, that, you know, unfortunately, if we believe in that, I hope and wish that somehow people can forge mental strength and physical strength through their experiences and choose a path where they can, like, you know, figure things out. Because if they can't, then that just means they're just fucking done, you know. I mean, which is unfortunate, but I feel like, you know, it is possible. It's just very hard. It's very hard. And, you know, I mean, the statistics already show people die, 22 people a day.
Yeah.
What is the statistic for suicides?
The thing is, that's not all the states reporting it, so it could be more.
Could be more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So how do we prevent this, man? How do you help people? You know, like, if, I mean, I don't know if I don't have the answer. Yeah,
I don't have the answer.
I think what we're talking about.
I could say all this
shit,
this bullshit. And
we do it for ourselves,
and
it works,
and make it sound easy, but at the end of the day,
it's not easy.
It's dependent on it, whether they want help, whether they seek help, or whether they're just ready to give up. You know,
I mean,
I don't know. Each situation is different. You know, whether it's their home life, whether it's
a little bit of everything.
Their personal life, like
this is how they grew up.
Yeah. Their
experiences, and
are they addicted to drugs? Are they are they alcoholics? You know, Did they, there's so many factors in it. It's hard to address, and I don't know how to fix. You can make the hotlines, you can do the classes, but the fact is, even with rehab, 7 out of 10 people will relapse within 60 days. So if it's that high for substance abuse, what do you think it is? You know what I mean? So it's and a lot of it is substance abuse based. So there's nothing you can really do when someone's checked out. Someone's checked out, man.
Well, yeah, at that point, I mean, that's lowest of low.
Yeah.
I think before that, it's just leading by example, Nick.
It is.
It's what you do, what I do.
People are only going to take what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can fucking lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. Drink
so
water,
I can tell people what I did, and I can,
Well, it's better that you tell people how you think and how you feel and what you've done.
But what I can't do is I can't make them do what I did. I can't make them go to the gym, because for me, the gym is a therapy session without a therapist. And I think therapists are full of shit anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll go to the gym, and if I'm pissed, I'll put it out on the weights. I'm going to take it out on the weights. I'm not as strong as I used to be, but it doesn't matter. It's about just going to failure.
You're stronger, man.
Yeah, I'm mentally stronger, but physically I'm not. I'm broken. And
I feel the same. But,
you know what I mean?
But mentally strong.
But it's not about that anymore. It's about.
But mentally strong is what people need to be.
Mentally strong is way better, dude. Like,
you have to be mentally strong to be physically strong.
When are you ever going to be in a position where you have to lift that much weight off your chest? Like in terms of bench press or squat that much, dude. If you're in that situation, you're screwed. Let's be real.
Well, it's unlikely.
It's more like it doesn't matter. When I was younger, I wanted to do all the weight. When I went to Afghanistan, I bench pressed 500 pounds, and that doesn't impress me anymore. No one gives a shit. You know what I mean? Cool. Here's your medal. No one cares.
Nick, but you're well rounded now.
Yeah. Now it's cool. You can do that. Cool. Why don't you come on a mountain with me? Let's transition from the weight room to the mountain.
From therapists.
Yeah. Cause I've seen guys who are weightlifters. Oh, I want to do a mountain with you. Really? Dude, really? Do you really want to do a mountain with me? I get to the top with me and my brother, and he's like, damn. We waited for him for a minute. Right. And he's a bigger guy cause he's a power lifter.
Sure.
Beast. And, we waited for him like 30 minutes because we crushed him. And it was Cameron. It was, what was it?
Your guide.
No. We were going to do 3 mountain peaks in one. It was Lincoln, Cameron,
the
Boros, and
you're tackling them all at the same time.
Yeah. So we're
near
going to
Breckenridge. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was New Fair Play, but he's I want to get some 14.
From that side.
Yeah. So he wanted to do some 14. Dude, he got to the first one, which is like Boros or whatever it was, and he's like, I can't go any farther. I was like, dude, what do you mean? We got 2 more to go on this range, and then we still got to hit Democrats like 4. And he's like, oh no,
because carrying all that weight.
He's like, oh man, but like going there, he was all like, yeah, pumped up, but the weight room doesn't translate to the mountain.
No.
So
it's legs and lungs,
bigger you are, the more oxygen you need, and the higher you are, the less oxygen you get. You know what I'm saying? So like when it gets close to the hiking season for me, I lay off the heavier weights and I go to the cardio and more reps, like 15 reps of 15, and who gives a damn? Because honestly, no one really cares, dude. When you're younger, maybe the young girls care, but dude,
it's cool as shit.
Yeah,
I mean, I like Schwarzenegger and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Yeah, I want to see him do a mount with me.
No,
yeah, exactly.
Well, see, I've always kind of been the balance, like in between.
Yeah, I like the balance. I never was the balance. I was the fucking big dude who liked to lift weights.
Yeah, I'm strong, I think, but I'm not like, I've never been a big person.
And I have to watch myself from going to that because that's not real, doesn't translate to real world, and it makes me less mobile. Yeah. So I like to be more mobile, less weight on me. And the more weight I have on me, my back hurts more. And I'm always, so it's just like, do I want more pain or do I want to look better in my own mind, which no one gives a damn, let's be real. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think, ultimately you're still figuring out things. I'm figuring out things. I've tried, over the years to experiment with different kinds of paths in the sense of like being focused on mental things, focused on physical things, a mix of both, and I've created this chemistry, for shit, and it's working. it's never ending, man. The thing is,
Never.
the experiences we've had, anybody has in life. I don't care if you're a veteran, war veteran, civilian. The bad things in your life, the good things you've experienced, you don't forget them. They don't ever go away. You don't delete them like a hard drive, like a file on a hard drive. It stays with you forever.
Well, it creates who you are,
Yeah. But I'm just saying.
Well, it can either create you or it can break you.
Well, you can let it break you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think it's the way you think about the shit.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at every situation in a negative tone, it's going to be bad. But if you look at, okay, this might have happened, but at least I saw what I can go through, what I could withstand.
Do you ever stop and think about, like, I think some people don't think about how much they've accomplished. Like, do you ever, like, give yourself a break?
No, dude.
And think about, because some people, well, you're maybe not so much, I mean, I'm talking about someone that's truly in a negative, they're quitting and failing, and they're also thinking negative, and they're not pursuing any of the things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And they don't give themselves a break. So all of that compounds and shoves them into a fucking hole they can't climb out of. I think sometimes people need to tell themselves, shit, I've got this far, let's work on, getting fit. Let's, I don't know, because sometimes I'm wondering what those people who are at their last leg, what they're thinking.
Well,
they're totally giving up.
I'll pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
For
fuck, I did those
reps.
reps.
Dude, I don't care about that. I'm talking about the hiking aspect. I never thought I could be able to hike because I struggled with a mile, dude. I literally struggled walking a mile.
So you've relished,
dude. And I look back, I did Long's Peak with 4 dudes in a day. That's like 17, 18 miles, dude.
It's long,
dude. It's a long ass day. There's no way in hell I could have done that in a week.
I felt the same
5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And I did it.
Yeah.
Dude, 70% failure rate.
So it astonishes you.
Dude, I look back like, dude, my whole.
So that's good.
70% failure rate. 7 out of 10 people turn back at the keyhole if they make it that far.
But buddy, bro, you could have.
Dude, I could have quit
way before
times.
Climbing any mountains. You could have quit on things.
Yeah, but I mean,
you're not a quitter.
No, dude. I never, dude. When I got hurt, I never once thought about quitting like that. I asked the doctor, when can I go back to the gym? And I'm wired shut. And the doctor looks at me. He's like, he goes, let's just do work one thing at a time. I was like, no, dude, I need to know. Give me a time frame, 4 or 5, 3 months. We'll see. And they never would give me an answer, Dude, and it was bullshit.
I know what you're saying. I was so pissed laying in the hospital that my buddies were my deployment was a 16-month deployment.
Yeah.
I was halfway through it. And I love fucking my mission.
Yeah,
I love what I was doing. And all I could think about laying in the hospital bed was they're there and I'm fucking here.
Yeah.
That was what pissed me off.
Dude. I got hit on month 11.
Yeah.
12 out of 12. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I realized, they already visited me. You know what I mean?
I was already out of the hospital.
It was 3 weeks that they were there without me. It was we were literally transitioning out. So I was so complacent. I was like, whatever, and then when I hit it, I didn't know what hell happened. And they were pretty much back before I could blink.
I was out of the hospital.
Yeah.
6 months
Damn,
later,
dude.
I was actually out of the hospital. I was in the hospital. You asked me and I didn't ever answer that. May 13th, I was wounded. 17th, I was, going through Germany and back to the U.S. And early July, I got to blind rehab in Chicago. And I was from blind rehab till November. Then I was out of the hospital.
Damn, dude, you weren't that long.
They wanted to keep me a lot
should've.
longer, but I fucking bitched. I was like, I don't want to stay in this damn hospital.
I'm done.
Done with this fucking hospital.
You born on the 4th of July.
Hospitals for sick people.
I mean, it was just
I'm just playing.
There was so many broken people at Walter Reed. It's we were all jacked up, dude.
Nah,
we were royal.
I was fucked up for a long time, even after I was going into the hospital for infections. I should have been in the hospital.
You should have,
but I didn't want to be.
It made your recovery process probably quicker.
It would have helped.
Quicker but not in terms of length, but quicker in terms of.
I was motivated to be on the road to do things, but I was definitely sick a lot. My body's fucking for the first 4 years. I just had all kinds of infections. Like you were talking about, you're building up your calluses and you're trying to figure out your body and your muscles. Like the first 3 years, definitely, I was just sucking.
I can relate with that because my lungs were compromised when I got hurt, like contusions and all that. I got pneumonia, you know, and whenever I got sick, I get pneumonia.
I was 168 pounds. I came home, I was 34 pounds or something.
Check this, bro. I was 40 pounds when I got hit. I got down to 160, 68, 169 because I was wired shut so I couldn't eat food. Yeah. I lost a lot
of blood,
bro. Like
your body was eating itself to stay alive.
I couldn't eat.
Yeah, I was drinking those Ensures.
I was eating out of a bag, so I was.
I was liquid.
Yeah,
I was eating liquid.
I was wired shut, so they're like, and I was. Trached.
I had a wired shut jaw for a while,
forever, dude. And then they're like, you can't because you're trached. You're gonna asphyxiate with your liquids or some shit, making up stuff. And I was like, dude, this sucks.
It was bad. Yeah,
it's horrible, man. I couldn't drink anything.
But man, I really, I think that it was a good show. You know, I don't want to keep you here too much.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
This is, you have any other stuff to say, man? I mean, we covered the things that I wanted to talk. We could talk forever about something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe we'll talk about it with some other guys. You know, if you're listening and you have someone that you want to recommend for the show, you know, just write me an email, steve@baskis360.com. That's STEVE @BASKIS360.com. Visit the website, baskis360.com. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the social media. This is Nick Morris and Steve Baskis.
Can I shout out my
go ahead, man.
Instagram handle? It's Nick One Leg Morris, one with a. Oh, let me make sure this is right.
Double check.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check this. Yeah, Nick One as the number one, Leg Morris. So Nick the number one. And then Leg Morris.
LEG.
So NICK 1 LEGMORRIS.
Instagram.
On Instagram. And then Nick Morris on Facebook.
Yep, Baskis360 on Instagram and just search for my name for Facebook. But you go to baskis360.com. I'll put Nick's stuff up there eventually. You know, we'll get all that crap up there. So it'll be easy for people to follow us.
Sounds good.
What we're doing. But man, Nick, thanks for chatting.
Thanks for having me.
This is Nick and Steve signing out.